On Monday, September 18, Queen Elizabeth II was finally laid to rest next to her husband Prince Philip. The day was full of many joining together to pay their respects to Her late Majesty, who served Britain for over 70 years. As the day was full of timings and regiment, many were quick to praise the 8 pallbearers who carried the Queen with honour. Good Morning Britain host Ben Shephard touched on the overwhelming feeling he felt when watching the young men carry out one final act for the Queen. Her Majesty's coffin reportedly weighed over 226 kilograms and was crafted from lead-lined oak. At least 5 of the pallbearers were serving in Iraq before being called back to the United Kingdom within hours of the announcement of the Queen's death. Touching on the amazing job they performed yesterday, Ben exclaimed, "One thing as well, I think I am with the nation on this." Shout out to the Queen's Company 1st Battalion Grenadier Guards, those 8 young men that shouldered the Queen's coffin all day in absolute the most exquisite perfection. Every single moment of what they were doing was being done. This was the bit where my heart was in my mouth as they were going up the steps. There were so many steps into St. George's Chapel and Windsor, and at no point did these men make a misstep. It was just the most remarkable exemplary performance from them, and they had clearly rehearsed and practiced over and over again to do it, and the weight of the world was on their shoulders and the expectation of the world was watching them, and it was just spellbinding. It wasn't just Ben and Susanna who were impressed with their performance, with many who were watching from home praising their professionalism. Twitter user @HeartandHuts commented, "I remember on the few occasions I've been a pallbearer I found it to be one of the most stressful things I've had to do, so I can't even begin to imagine how those young lads today felt carrying the weight of a nation on their shoulders. My utmost respect to them." Mike Oruk echoed, "Well done to these gallant men. Their families must be immensely proud. I've been a pallbearer myself, and it is one of the hardest jobs at any funeral. What a stunning effort, with the eyes of the world watching every move." Stephen Fries added, "The biggest respects to the pallbearers who had the honor of carrying Her Majesty to her final resting place. Something to be extremely proud of alongside serving your country." Sick. BBC Breakfast fans slam Charlie State's Queen coverage, touching on how they felt being a part of the day and watching the events unfold. Susanna explained, "We turned up around 4 a.m., 3:30 in the morning. The area was going to be shut down and we knew there was a point where we would no longer be allowed in because the security was so tight." Ben added, "They called it a ring of steel around Parliament Square and Westminster, where literally hoardings up with doors. Usually you can just walk down those roads obviously, but you just couldn't get past." Susanna continued, "When we arrived just before 4 o'clock it was so calm, so peaceful, and just remained very calm and peaceful, didn't it? Even though we were with all of the press and the media, there was an incredible stillness amongst all of those working, because this was a moment where you were just utterly calm, peaceful, respectful. I think for both of us, there was one particular moment, wasn't there, and that was when we were overlooking Westminster Abbey and we could hear the mass pipes and drums, and as they preceded the procession, which saw the coffin on the gun carriage, and the sound of it was so emotional." Recalling the feeling, Ben added, "It was so stirring, as you rightly say, it is the mass pipes from the Scottish and Irish regiments and the Royal Air Force. We were overlooking the west door, which is where Her Majesty's coffin was processed into the Abbey. We could hear the snap of the snare drums and that sound of all of these pipers, and as they suddenly came into focus they were preceded by the horses and then they were suddenly there, It was so stirring, one of the most extraordinary moments I have ever experienced. It was so emotional, overwhelmingly emotional. It was like being an eyewitness to history, wasn't it? A really privileged position, Susanna admitted. Good Morning Britain airs weekdays from 6 a.m. on ITV.